Let me talk about this person from the past. So I feel like some of you are still with this person. For others of you, this is a person from the past. You have a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. And I feel like this is a person that might have been, they seem to me a little bit more emotionally immature. It's almost as if like they feel one way, but they have trouble expressing it in a healthy way. They might not communicate on an emotional level in the manner that you'd hope. Or I feel like they might, at their worst, they might throw tantrums. They might be prone to like feeling, attention seeking. They might not feel validated. They might not feel appreciated. And so there's an exchange of communication that needs to happen between you and this person. So Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And if this is a relationship partner that you're dealing with, I do feel that they are emotionally underdeveloped somehow. And I do sense that the way that you are approaching one another, communicating with one another, is not conducive for mutual understanding, mutual agreement. So there needs to be kind of like, I almost sense like there needs to be a loving detachment from your end so that this person can I'm sensing like so that they don't feel judged, so that they don't feel as if you're criticizing them. So detach a little bit. Let them say whatever is on their mind, and then you can help them formulate their thoughts. You can help them form their train of thoughts, and you can help them communicate better. So I feel like, don't give them too much judgment when they communicate. Don't ask them too many questions. Let them get the story out, and then you go from there. And then you put the pieces back together, or you form the pieces of the puzzle. So I feel like there's a person here that wants to communicate with you. And the way that they've been doing it in the past is not very effective. And I do sense that you want to cut them some slack, okay? What I have as well is the Page of Wands. So you have a water sign as well as a fire sign. So the Page of Wands is a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or a Leo. And this is a person who is a little bit more honest and directed with their communication. For some of you, it might be the same person. And I'm sensing as well that you're getting some communication from the past, and I feel that some of you are going back to the past, okay? There might be some communication, and as well, you have a person that you have children with from the past, and you're hearing some news about the children, and I feel that you're going to have an opportunity to like be in the same room with either the mother or the father of your children sometime coming through for the month of February. What's coming through in your foundation here? We have the Death card. This is basically going back to a previous situation in order to rectify and fix a relationship. So this is a very, very good thing overall. I do sense that many of you were in a situation where there might have been financial considerations affecting the relationship. There might have also been like a breakdown within the communication, within the family unit, where assets are being divided, children are being, split between two homes. And it's not over just yet. And you're still dealing with the residual energy and the aftermath. And you're still going to be heavily linked up with the other person. But I feel like the other person is reaching out because they want a truce. They want a peace treaty. They're reaching out to negotiate, and they're not reaching out with malice, but I feel like you might be a little bit on the defense because you are familiar, with how this person behaves, and you might think that like, oh, the way that they communicate indicates like they might be hiding some information. So I feel like there's a lot of renegotiations. There's a lot of going back to the past in order to fix things, in order to understand and fix things, okay? Which is good because going back to fix things basically means that you are operating from a space of wanting to understand and wanting to problem solve. Crowning this reading is something that you're thinking about. We have here the Devil as well as the Ace of Swords. The Devil indicates temptation. I feel like for some of you, there's kind of like attraction. You're scoping out, greener pastures elsewhere. You might be attracted to somebody outside of the relationship for those who are in a relationship. And so you're scoping out new territory. Somebody is really catching your eyes. And I feel like you are very physically attracted to this person. And that could be for people who are single too, but I'm not sensing that so much, okay? Not with the devil, which basically means you have one lingering relationship that it might not be completely healthy. It might not be very good for you, but instead of leaving it, you might be scoping out new territory. You might be scoping out new people, new partners. Some of you might be on the residual, like on the tail end of a separation or a divorce, and you're scoping out new territory, and that's fine. But others of you, I feel like there is an energy where you're in a relationship that feels almost as if there is financial lack, and you almost feel as if the one partner is dependent on the other, and the partner that is dealing with a lot of responsibility is a little bit stressed out, and so they're finding solace and they're finding a little bit of temptation outside of the relationship. Okay. Which brings us into the future position. We have here the Sun as well as the Five of Coins. So you have somebody in your environment. So you're dealing with some stress this month, Libras. And I feel like you were in a space where I feel like you have had to leave a relationship partner behind because emotionally they were just not very, they might not have made practical decisions when it came to finances. They might have been a little bit irresponsible or lax when it came to parenting, when it came to child rearing. And I feel like you're moving on from that and you're trying to, rebuild your life. There might have been some financial hardships in your own life, but you're going to be able to achieve success, okay? And then for others of you, you left one relationship and I feel like it really did a number on your self-esteem. It really did hurt you. Moving away from a heartache is never an easy process, and sometimes it takes a long time. But I feel that you have another person in your environment that is coaxing you out of your lair, coaxing you out of your cave, and they are promising a lot of love and abundance. For some of you, this might be an air sign, another air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. And then for others, and I say air sign because of this card here. And then for others, it might be a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And this is somebody that you are kind of like, you're spurning their advances. You really like them on the one hand, but I feel like you're afraid of getting hurt. So single Librans, I feel that it would be in your best interest to try to, give new people an opportunity. Don't project the worst onto them, and especially give people a chance, okay? You have a very, very good, loving energy here, and I feel like this is not the person that's going to be hurting you. They are kind of like coaxing you. They have a way out. They're showing you, they're painting a very, very nice, clear, and practical picture, and they want you to share that with them, okay? Share that future with them. So you have some very good things that are coming in. I forgot to talk about, the center of the spread. We have here, this is your energy with the Page of Swords. This is you wanting to return back to the past, blocking out the future. So you might have that, phone call from an ex telling you that they miss them, telling you that they want to reconcile, telling you that they want to start over. And you might have just started dating somebody new. And I feel like you might re-engage with the person from the past and lose an opportunity with the person from the future who really wants to build a future with you. So just be careful about that. And I also have here the Three of Wands. This is a situation where some of you are dealing with waiting on communication from a past lover. And I feel like it's coming through with a little bit of disappointment. It's almost as if you're putting your life totally on hold, not going out, not meeting new people, not giving new people a chance because you're waiting on communication from somebody from the past, okay? This is a card about spiritual insights. This is a card about lessons learned, wisdom, higher calling, okay? When the Hermit is in the reverse position, they're kind of telling you to really examine your relationship and to, if there are minor troubles here and there, you might think that like, oh, it's just trouble in paradise. But I do feel that it's going to be, it might escalate into something a little bit bigger further down the line. So you want to be careful about, I want to say, don't sweep things under the rug. If there are issues within the relationship, you want to, tackle them head first and like nip them in the bud early on so that they don't escalate and become, overwhelming down the line. Okay. And I feel like this is something you've been noticing for quite some time, Libras. And it's really important that you address them and address them now. And so in terms of your eighth house, the eighth house deals with joint finances as well. And we have the Hermit here, and this is kind of like turning a blind eye to somebody's spending habits. And I feel like one person might be quite extravagant, and then the other person might be very, very accommodating, and they enable that type of a behavior. So one person is very extravagant, the other person is not willing to speak up against it. So there is an enabling type of behavior. And I feel like if you are financially linked in with them, it is within your right to speak up and figure out where the money is going. Why are we short every month, even though we're both making a generous amount of money? So some things need to come up and to be addressed here, okay? There's also some type of an imbalance in the relationship as well. I feel like one person might be working in the, public environment. The other person might be working from home. And there's a thing here about somebody's contributions being undervalued, okay? So values differences, finances, these things are coming in very, very strongly for you to address for the month of February. Okay, Libras? Your 10th house deals with higher education, and it also deals with travel. So in terms of higher education, what we have here is this is an offer. This is an offer for like getting accepted into a school, into a university, into a graduate program, master's program, into a vocational school. And I feel like the school that you want is the school that you're going to get into, okay? And I know usually in the States, I believe acceptance letters start coming out in March and April, and we're in February. So, it might be just early, or you might be in outside of the States. But what I'm sensing is your first choice, your first or second choice, actually, if you apply for 5 schools, I feel like this is a very, very emotionally fulfilling offer. So they're coming through from usually the first, second choices, top choices. So I feel like you're getting some acceptance letter as it relates to, allowing you to go to pursue higher education. When it comes to travel as well, there's opportunities being brought into you for you from a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They might be living at a distance from you, or you might be close in proximity and they're thinking about taking a trip together with you. So I feel like this is a very good card. Overall, it indicates that, two people seeing eye to eye, an offer that is coming through that is very emotionally fulfilling. So you have some really good things lit up in your house of higher education and travel. In your 10th house, the 10th house deals with the father, and the 10th house also deals with your career. So let me talk about your father first. The father shows up usually with the King of Wands. And the King of Wands showing up in the reverse position is, this is a man, I feel like for whatever reason, he feels almost inadequate. He might have dealt with some anger issues in the past. He might have also, he's trying to find his footing. He's been through a lot in life, and he's trying to find his footing. And I feel like financially for this month, your father might be the one that needs financial assistance, okay? Helping your father, reaching out to your father to see if financially he's okay. I feel like that's going to be quite important, okay? Because I feel like there might be some financial shortage within the household as it relates to your father. And I'm also sensing it, as well, for those of you who have a very, very, very good relationship with your father. Your father is somebody that is very handy. He likes to tinker with things. He has like a very curious mind, almost like a scientist or an engineer or like an inventor. And I feel like he loves working with his hands. He loves fixing things. He loves taking things apart and putting them back together. And I also feel he's like a perpetual student. And so I feel like you're getting a lot of motivation from your father to do well in school, to pursue higher education. You might also get a lot of financial assistance from your father as well, in order to make, to realize to realize the dreams of higher education is what I'm sensing. In terms of your career track with this card, it basically means for you to keep at it and keep steady. So this is a card where we are starting out, we're at the bottom of that totem pole, but we can work our way up. And I feel some of you are doing a job where you feel like, I deserve to get paid more. When am I going to get paid more? And I feel like you might have already chosen a career that you absolutely love. It feels to me like it might be a technical career, like accounting, computer programming. I'm sensing like I'm sensing technicians. I'm feeling as well like even teachers, and I'm sensing scientists. So I feel like a lot of you are in the technical field. Now, Libras, you are the least scattered of all the air signs. Your mental agility is very swift and quick. And you retain information a lot better than the other signs. Geminis and Aquarius, they're gifted in a way where they can draw insights, information out of the blue, like out of thin air. But I feel for you, your mind is very systematic because you're so close to that Virgoan energy. Your mind is very systematic. It retains information, and it's very systematic in the way that it stores, compartmentalizes, and processes information. So I feel like any technical field would be really good for you, but I'm seeing a lot of scientists, a lot of technicians, a lot of math people, math science-based people. And I feel like these are career tracks that will be very, very good for you. But when it comes to, the career tracks that are heavily dependent on technology, math, and science, some of you might think that like, okay, getting a bachelor's degree alone is not going to be able to max out my income earning capability. So I have to go back to school. And then some of you might think that like, okay, getting a high school diploma, a GED, is not going to allow me to rise up and, in the career track. So you feel like you need more education, more schooling in order to learn more in depth about that technical field, and so that you can increase your earnings. So I feel like you're making some major investments in your education so that you can move far ahead, okay? So it looks very good. Your 11th house deal with friends and group associations, and we have the Empress here. You have some beautiful friends, Virgo. So I feel like you have some really caring, nurturing friends. They're beautiful inside and out. And I feel like some of you are falling for your friends. You have like a very, very beautiful person. And they're saying like they're physically very, very beautiful person in your midst that you have. I'm sensing like that you are really digging, that you're really swept off your feet about. And I feel almost like the person is very well dressed. They come from a very good family. They're well behaved. They have really pretty manners. They're very well dressed. They look really clean, very kempt, and they speak very properly. And I'm sensing that some of you might be intimidated. Some of you might feel like, oh, that person is too rich for me. That person is too proper for me. That person is too perfect for me. So I feel like you're kind of like in a situation where you feel a little bit kind of like starstruck. You feel a little bit intimidated, okay?